Hi, my name is Justin Dottavio. This is IronManFootball.wordpress.com Tackling Drills. As you can see here, we've got our players starting off on their knees. This is a very safe way to teach the fundamentals. It's not the olden school days of ramming two dudes together from 10 yards apart. We've got our guy on the far side from the film. He's a scarecrow. Just making sure that he's going to be very safe. Has his knees bent. He's able to take the blow. Our guy on the close side, the tackler, we tell him on a cadence whether he's going right or he's going left, we make them all freeze. That way we can check their hand placement, their hips, that their eyes are up to the sky. Here we preach, throw your hips, grab cloth, eyes to the sky. That's a big preaching point here. We have both sides go from their knees, makes it extremely easy for the players to, get into a rhythm. They know exactly what to expect. If one person kind of does something out of the ordinary during it. Not exactly, some small thing about hand placement or something, but definitely eyes down or doesn't throw their hips or goes the wrong way. We make them all do the same side again just to reiterate how important it is to make sure that you're going on the right side. Then you can see here we progress into a four-step step-through drill. I learned a lot of this from my dad with a baseball swing, working on baseball. So what we're doing is, I'm counting out a cadence. I'm saying GHP, right, shoot, or GHP, left, right, shoot. And they're being counted off on their steps. They're getting, counted off when to shoot their hands. That way we can really watch them. We make sure they're fit up. Then, as you can see here, we start to progress and we start going where we're telling them all in one motion, going right, then all in one motion, going left. We have them start on a whistle and they make the play. Okay, and we can watch their hips, their hands, their eyes, all in a nice fluid motion. This is a heads-up tackling, more the USA style. I actually learned this between the Bucks and the University of Miami, just getting a chance to go down there. And again, we flip it over. Each guy walks through right, each guy walks through left. We go on the whistle going to the right, on the whistle going to the left. That way everyone's had a chance every single defensive practice to work on this. So normally, during the camp time when we just go offense, defense every day for almost 2 weeks, you're going to get a blocking day, a tackling day, a blocking day, a tackling day, and we also have to incorporate, club punch rip, fumble recovery stuff. During the season, Mondays are where we focus on our club punch rip, fumble recovery type stuff. So, stripping the ball and recovering it. Tuesdays, we work defense and tackling. Wednesdays, offense and blocking. Thursdays are, our run-throughs, and Fridays are game. Saturday and Sunday we give them off. We have maybe a bigger roster, some we might bring them in, but we've currently been giving them off Saturday and Sunday, trying to get a little work-life balance for them as well as us, in the process. So you can see here now we're moving on to hawk tackle, more the Pete Carroll style, video that was going around where you're watching us do this from our knees. As you can see, our tackler's down, our ball carrier's up. As he walks, he's going to go down easy for him. We teach tuck your chin to your chest, kind of like a wrestling fall. Slap your arms out if you need to, if you're really going back on your back. But they all are kind of almost a theater fall to the side, kind of trip yourself over the side. Now we're going to go, where we're tackling left, we're also going to tackle right each time. And again, this is on command. We're watching every single little thing. Is your head the way, your eyes up? Are you grabbing, eyes to the thighs, grabbing the hips? And, right here it's a little harder to drive for 5, as Pete would say, but, Coach Carroll would say, but we're really watching this close. Both sides get to go. You can see a coach in there working with one of the kids, so the kid doesn't miss any part of this drill. A coach kind of has to take a little bit of a beating, but he's a young cat, and he's muscular. He can kind of take it. And then now you see this young man. He's getting to watch other people go at it. One of our smarter players and one of our veteran seniors, which is why he's able to watch. He actually at some point steps in there and helps one of the younger guys with it. I'm not sure if you can see that in this film, but he steps in, starts helping another guy. I mean, they tell you it's best to learn how to teach by, or learn it by teaching. So you can see here it's very safe. Your head's out of the way, eyes are up, so it's eyes to the sky. It's wrap the hips, drive for 5, eyes to the thigh. Now you can see we've moved over. We're in more of an old school angle tackling drill, but we're going to work the hawk stuff here. That's our focus right here on angle. We're not working heads up. As you can see, we're walking through this. It's 50%. Big fella's there. A couple of O-line, D-line guys. They're going at it. He's easy fall, so he's falling on purpose. Kind of like looks like a ton of brick sack potatoes falling. They're working. They're both getting every way. They're really displaying this force. They're two of our better tacklers. You can see the head out of the way. You can see eyes to the thighs, wrap through the hips. And it would be a drive for 5 if he wasn't kind of falling over for him. It's a lot of what Joe Daniel Football talks about with creating confidence for your players. Put them in situations to be confident. He mentions that in his podcast, his website, and articles. Now we've switched out guys. We're getting everybody some work here. And you can see he gets a little too high there. Coach gets in the way of the shot. But he gets a little too high there and kind of has to pull Garth Brooks' voice, up, down, up. But you can see there that's great form. He's got his eyes to the thighs. He stays low, makes a play. He's one of our stronger tacklers. We have some decent tackling corners out there. You can see guys pretty jacked up to get into the drill, even though we're going 50% and walking through. A couple of the older cats are just looking to get in there and make some noise, and there was an all-state player that just tried to jump in out of nowhere. And you can see we're just working on stalking a guy, stalking the outside hip, and finding that angle and making a play. It's a fascinating thing. I've been teaching it the same way forever, and this way I just find so much better. You can see there as his shoulder would get a little bit hurt. That guy didn't get his eyes in the thighs. He was way too far behind, and it was kind of a pull on the shoulder blade. On the rotator cuff even. That's a great play right there. You can see it. You can get a good feel. You can see the size we have. Most of our guys are going to be between the 5'7" to 5'10" range and about 140 to 170 pounds. And then the big fellas are going to be 5'9" to 6 foot and probably between 210 and 240. Our big guy, we have one big college, size guy that's 5'11" or 6 foot, and he's about 285 pounds. Other than him, everybody else is pretty small, as you can see here. Lots of lawyers, bankers, accountants. It's like Wisconsin basketball. All right, so you're getting a real good look here at what it's like to play with a team GPA unweighted of 3.5. All right, you can see here it's one of our best deadlifters, hang cleaners, and he's exploding through that guy while they're tiptoeing. He can still explode. That's our quarterback tackling one of our other quarterbacks. And this guy's one of our better tacklers here going right now. Explosive player. He grabbed way too low, but explosive player that knocks the crap out of people. And you can get a real good feel. One of our strongest, meanest defensive linemen, you can see him going right there, is probably 5'10", 210. Runs a 5'1", more of an explosive player, heavy squatter, explosive guy. You can see they got a nice little rotation going there. A guy that never played football a day in his life, who's serving as the ball carrier right now, gets the guy who is a pretty athletic kid, runs a 10.600. You can watch our little guy who never played a day in his life. He makes a nice little play there. He looks good. So you can get a really good feel by watching this on what we do for our basic tackling drills, on a daily basis. So that guy get too high and then dip down and go low. Constant problem you're gonna have kids have. They're especially in a walk through 50%er, they're gonna get high and have to drop down back low. Where they may not do that during a game, but we want to teach those good habits here right now. Get them to jog out of the dang drill and get that going. That's a rookie right there going against a veteran, one of our stockier, tougher, meaner kids that could really play the game. He knows how to scrape. He knows how to make a play. He's a corner scraping like a linebacker. Here comes some of our water buffaloes. And even they can, really just, you see him get up a little too high, dip his head a little bit. But, we work on all this and really coach this up, ad nauseum. I mean, these guys can recite our coaching points back to us, and that's the point. If I say eyes to the, they have to be able to repeat thighs afterwards. If I say drive 4, they have to be able to say 5. If I say this drill is thud, I have to say what is it? They have to say thud. Okay, so they have to know what speed the drills are in, what kind of contact they're being made, and they have to recite it back to us. It's a beautiful thing, and that way, not only is it your liability, but it's their safety. You can see eyes were way too low. I'm telling the guy he's got to be able, without even moving, to be able to tell me how many fingers I'm holding up. When he couldn't do it, and I told him raise your head, and then he told me how many fingers, okay? It's extremely important to reiterate to them not only how off they are sometimes, And that was quick. That took, what, 2 seconds? But also, reiterate why. Why is it so important? I'm not going to visit you in the hospital if you don't follow our rules. It's kind of a sick joke you have to make, but it's so true. You have to reiterate to them. That's where you're going to wind up. You're going to wind up in the hospital. You can see when guys have gone, they get to take a knee, kind of get out of the way, take away that confusion of who's gone, who hasn't. We know how far we are in the drill, and you can see we got two younger guys. I think both about to be freshmen going right here. That's a big boy right there with a lot of explosion. 300-something pound squat as a 14-year-old. He's a big fella, and the little guy is a pretty tough little fullback. But you can see they need to learn a little bit about form and get some experience. You can see big guy. Look at that explosion out of that little guy. I mean, he's a wrestling team guru if we had one. All right, so here you can see, and the guys are all gonna, get their reps in, and we have three coaches around at all times. We have some of the veteran players. You can't really see it or hear it now, but they kind of work with the guys. Hey, make sure you wrap up, get your hands in the right spot. Eyes to the thighs. It really is great when you have the older players who can get involved like that. And this is Ironman football, and we're just teaching tackling.